I'm about to run the TCS London Marathon with a Garmin watch, an Apple Watch Ultra. After the race, we're going to dive into all the stats. Let's see how we go.
I ran the London Marathon with the best Garmin, Strava, and the best Apple Watch. Here's how I got on. As TechRadar's fitness and wearables editor, it's my job to figure out how to reliably test wearables in order to determine how accurate they are. My two gold standards are the Garmin Epix Pro and the Apple Watch Ultra, but I've never pitted them against each other, nor have I had a more reliable third party to test them against. So I decided to run the TCS London Marathon 2024. Let me explain. Every London Marathon runner gets given a bib with a radio frequency identification chip, or RFID chip in it, which gives each runner an official time. That RFID chip is the perfect reliable metric against which to measure two of the best smartwatches money can buy. So, what do Garmin, Strava, and Apple have to say about one of the most famous foot races of all time? I've taken a look at the GPS files and information provided by all three services in order to show you the difference between them. I tried to end the workout on both wearables at the point I crossed the finish line, and more or less successfully did so. So there should only be a few seconds between them. I apologize in advance because we're going to get really nerdy and dive into some serious running statistics. I finished the race with a chip time of 4 hours, no minutes, and 54 seconds. Garmin had a total workout recording time of 4 hours, 1 minute, and 4 seconds, which is a little bit slower, accounting for the time it took me to press the button. The distance I traveled was 42.81 kilometers, slightly longer than official marathon distance to account for all that moving around other runners. My average pace was 5 minutes and 38 seconds per kilometer, average heart rate 166 BPM, and the total calories burned was a whopping 3,005. I earned my pizza afterwards. Apple has a slightly different set of stats. Recording time was 4 hours, 1 minute, and 7 seconds. Very close. But my distance was only 42.38 kilometers, a whole 400 meters off my Garmin's estimations. My average pace, 5 minutes and 41 seconds per kilometer, average heart rate, 168 BPM, and total calories burned, 2,888, 100 calories off my Garmin. I think I know why there's a difference in split pace and distance here. Even though the Apple Watch Ultra can see where I am with pinpoint accuracy, when I dive into my splits, the time I spent over each kilometer of the race, Garmin gives me the number down to the nearest 10 milliseconds. Apple, in its round, easy to parse, customer-friendly approach that's so characteristic of Apple, only gives me the data to the second. Maybe that's where the extra 0.4 kilometers came from. Virtually unnoticeable over shorter runs, but over a marathon, the difference starts to make itself known. So what about Strava? Strava uses my Garmin Epix Pro's raw GPS information. However, it processes that data with its own algorithm, so there are slight differences, which you can see on screen. Strava tends to slightly underestimate Garmin's data. In a community post, Strava said the reason this happens is that Garmin, both the device and Garmin Connect, rounds up distances, whereas Strava rounds down. There are a few other changes. Distances are always stored in meters on devices like this one, and then shown on Strava in the athlete's preferred units. Also, the first number Strava gives you is moving time, not the total time of the workout. My moving time was slightly under 4 hours, whereas Garmin doesn't bother with that and just gives you the total time recorded on the watch. The bottom line? Both of these wearables are an accurate representation of your runs. And unless you're really, really pedantic or an elite athlete in which every millisecond counts, it's not going to matter too much. For most of us, the difference in accuracy between Garmin or Apple isn't going to make enough of a difference to justify picking one over the other at the highest level. And if your Strava is different to the information that's given on your watch, well, now you know why.